During the last 2 months of 2025, I played the SpongeBob movie video game and finished it with 8 episodes. So I want to go back to the game and do another challenge video. I want to take a break from Hello Neighbor challenges and try to do something different. Time to ask the question, can I beat the SpongeBob movie game without upgrading? I plan to do a challenge video for BFBB, but I need to finish that game first. So I'll just stick to the movie game. And the only way I can play the game is on my PlayStation 3. So sorry if the audio is out of sync on cutscenes. There's no other way I can play the game. I don't have a copy of it on my PS2 or my GameCube. The first thing I did is throw off a new game and override one of my save files. To make this quick, I skipped the cutscene so I could save us some time. But before I start off the challenge, I forgot to mention about the spinning wheel. So the spinning wheel is where if I get stuck in the dead end or at the beginning of a level, I can use the spinning wheel and I have to follow that specific rule. If I use one at the beginning of the game, I'll have to wait till the halfway point where I can use it again. But I can only use it for the second time if I'm in the trench or the garbage area. But if I don't use the wheel at the beginning, I cannot use the wheel at all, even if I get to the second half. So, if I get stuck at a dead end, then the challenge is over. So I decided to use the wheel at the beginning before I continue on. The options are upgrade one move for Patrick and SpongeBob, and only that move. So meaning if I upgrade SpongeBob's SpongeBob move, that's the only upgrade I can use for SpongeBob. As for Patrick, if I upgrade his throw move, that's the only upgrade for Patrick that he'll ever get. I don't count the health as upgrades because you can also upgrade the health in BFBB. Also option 3, forfeit the challenge. You know what it means, enough said. So I decided to spin it and I got upgrade all health. But how? I have to wait until I get most of the manliness points. And it'll take like 1 to 2 hours. But no. I searched up some cheat codes and luckily I found a cheat code. I can use the move code, but I can also use the move code as well, but that wouldn't be fun. So I'm gonna spoil it for you guys. I got no deaths on the first day because this is the easiest part of the game. I split the game into 4 sections. Section 1, no cheese to rub-a-dub-dub slip slide to the tub. The easiest part of the game. Section 2, bubble blowing baby hunt to Now That We're Man. The medium part of the challenge. Section 3, Shell City Dead Ahead and Dennis Strikes Back. The hard part of the game. Section 4, Welcome to Planktopolis Minions to Turn the Tables on Plankton. The very hard section. And oh boy. We'll just have to wait and see if I can get to the very hard part of the game. I know the driving and sliding sections of the game are not really that hard, but if you screwed up, you will be pissed off. I'm not even joking. Also, during the levels, there's other sections of the games that requires you to get Goofy Gooper tokens. Wanna know why? You need them to get more moves from Mindy, and that's where a ton of people say that the game is bad because of the huge among us about backtracking. Listen, backtracking has always been a thing in 3D games, along with open world games. Even Battle for Bikini Bottom has some backtracking levels. Look, I don't care if y'all don't like backtracking, get used to it. You'll need to backtrack a ton of times if you want to 100% the game. December 31st. It's my 20th birthday! Yay! So before I went to my birthday party, I immediately went to the SpongeBob movie game. As you can see at the top left of your screen, there's a death count. I decided to add a death counter to keep track of my deaths throughout this playthrough. And what I mean by death is by dying to an enemy, dying by deadly objects, or dying by sinking. So falling into voids doesn't count because the hands save us from falling. But before we head over to my first death, I want to talk about the Gooby Goober tokens for sliding and driving levels. There's the main objective obviously, but there's also 2 time trials and 1 ring challenge. First time trial is the easiest one. The ring challenge is kind of like a troll. If you think you know where the ring is going, it will be like, nope, psych, and will screw you over. The second time trial is the hard version of the first time trial. You have to play like a speedrunner for the second time trial to be able to get this Gooby Goober token. You see this playthrough of the rock slide level? That's like playing like a speedrunner. Now let's head to my first death. Yeah, that was my first death. A misinput. Well, that was interesting to say the least. Also, in this section of the game, we get our first boss battle, the Frogfish. I guess I could talk about the boss battles. There's 4 boss battles in this game, not counting the mini bosses. The bosses are the Frogfish, the first dentist fight, the second dentist fight, and King Neptune. Like the sections of the game, each of them are separated by different difficulties. Like for the Frogfish, it's the easiest one because it's the first boss battle of the game. The second boss fight, Dentist 1, is basically just medium. It's like middle between hard and easy. But the second Dentist boss fight is slightly hard because you have to throw the SpongeBob and it will have to be at a far distance away from Dennis so you won't move around. And also King Neptune. He is super difficult, and I'm not even joking. And to make sure they screw over you, they added old enemies from old levels. Except for the Frogfish. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere, so it makes sense. Here's a small montage of my playthrough for this day. So anyway, enjoy. Six 48 p.m. 6:48 p.m. And I didn't even continue it during the afternoon and the morning. Let's just go ahead and play. Yeah, I don't know why I did it. I planned to play the game around the afternoon, but for some reason, I took a nap and was already 6 o'clock. So yeah, not the best time to continue playing. But anyway, let's just continue playing anyway. It also didn't help that I fell on the first time trial on the rock slide twice. Then I just went to the first sliding level to go to the second time trial. Failed there too. So I just went over to the driving levels because they were that easy. Even for the second time trial, it wasn't that hard. Now we enter the trench. And this is where we enter the hard section of this game. The first half of the game was simple, but at the trench, the levels get bigger and harder. In the trench, there are those hideous, disgusting monsters that'll either be in our way or we need them to progress through the level. There's also more tokens that we need to get for moves, and that's pretty much it. Just moves. Until the last chapter level, but y'all get the idea. So I got them as well. I also wanted to point out something. Remember that one episode where Sandy pushed SpongeBob to his absolute limits in extreme sports? Well, there is one part of the episode where SpongeBob is sliding with his tongue, and in the games, when he's sliding down, he uses his tongue. Why is it a big deal, you may be asking? Well, what if I tell you that the first half of the trench level is inside of the body of a big monster? A nice little reference of the Now We're Men music from the movie. But this is where it gets weird. Once we hit inside the monster, SpongeBob uses his tongue to get inside the fish. And the slide is the monster's tongue and throat. And that's not even the worst part. The walls are the fish's inside body parts. I'm sorry if I butchered it. And SpongeBob is using his mouth as well to wall jump. That is disgusting. Sorry for going a little off track. But anyway, I hit the parasite monster. Then I died to a Haktua enemies. Yes, I'm calling them Haktua enemies. And I burned into the stomach acid. After that happened, I went to the end of the fish's body. Then I exit through a door. After defeating multiple enemies, dying again multiple times, falling to voids, defeating the monster, and collecting 2 more Goopy Goober tokens, I move on to the next level. The garbage area. I don't know why the developers decided to add it into the game, but hey, I ain't complaining. This is a nice level. Jumper, jumper, Yeah, this level pissed me off. New enemies are really annoying. Like, why do they have to be in areas where we need to progress through the game? If you're not good at this game, then have fun taking them out, because they are not playing around. But anyway, let's talk about the main objective of this level. Plankton hacked into the TVs to get more ocean creatures to go to Planktopolis. I guess that explains why the enemies around this area are mind controlled by Plankton. Our main objective of this level is to destroy the TVs with our new throw ability. This is also the last level where Patrick is the main character in the level, not counting the dentist boss fight, but hey, it's just a boss fight. We also get introduced to a new enemy, the Mini-Mercs. They were all that bad, except when you need to speedrun the game. They will get in your way. Because of them, we get more deaths than usual. Also, what you saw by the montage of the deaths in this level, yeah, you can see that I have metal crates there, but why? Well, this is where the part of the game where upgrades are really important. Are you kidding me? So now what do? Well, I pulled up my phone and pulled up the spinning wheel again, and hopefully I don't have to forfeit the challenge. Oh my gosh, I got so lucky. So I upgraded one move for SpongeBob and Patrick, and that's the only time I'm going to have to upgrade for this challenge. For SpongeBob, as you can see, that was his karate spin, and as for Patrick, it's the smash. Yeah, that is also really important for Patrick's final level in the game. So anyway, I got the Goopy Goober token after destroying the last TV, and I ended the day. We'll see you all in January 2nd. This is it, the final day of this challenge. So I collected a few more Goopy Goober tokens before I headed to the first dentist boss fight. Honestly, it wasn't even that hard. All you gotta do is just throw stuff at him, and that's pretty much it. But before we move on to the next section of the game, I want to talk about the Foggers. They appeared on the last level for SpongeBob, not counting the boss battle. In this combat challenge, and now that we're man, their time attacks for attacking SpongeBob and Patrick is 0.1 second, which is weird because later in the final level for SpongeBob, they have the same amount of speed as the Foggers from the previous levels. I don't know why the developers decided to do that, but whatever. Now let's talk about the third driving level. For some reason, the developers decided to add this to the game, even though it wasn't in the movie actually, but whatever. Let's just talk about the level. In this driving level, you have to follow Goofy Cooper and don't lose track of him. But I did lose track of him, which is weird, if I was going for the chest, but that's the weird part, because in the Gaming with President's channel, they did the same thing, but yet they get to continue. Like, what the deuce? So after I failed that, and no, it doesn't count as a death because I didn't actually die. So after all of that, I got the Goofy Goober token and then went on to the final slide level, Shell City. It's pretty simple all things considered. It's just a simple puzzle. Just follow the wires and boom, you'll be able to escape. The easiest challenge ever. So after that, I went to the final Dennis boss fight. I mean, to be fair, it's literally just 2 Dennis boss battles. I defeated Dennis on my first attempt and then went to Plank Topless. And holy crap, this is the level where I was raging. And this is not even a joke. Well, what's the main objective of this level? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Once you collected 40 Goofy Goober tokens, you get the Sonic Wave. And you use that Sonic Wave to press buttons or defeat the second version of the Mini-Mervs, which is really the hard version of the first Mini-Mervs. And then we use the Sonic Wave guitar to destroy the Plankton statue. Yeah, this level is literally what made me rage so much. It sounded so bad that thank goodness I don't have a microphone for this challenge. So after all of that, I went to the final ball roll challenge, defeat the final Plankton statue, and then we can head over to the Krusty Krab. Oh wait, we need to get more Goofy Goober tokens. Not to worry though, just need to collect like 6 more. So I went to backtrack, completed the final driving level, defeat King Neptune after multiple failures, and there we go. The challenge is officially over. So now, time to answer the question. Can I beat the SpongeBob movie video game without upgrades? Well, the answer is yes and no. For yes, because the first half of the game, you don't need really any upgrades. As for the no section, the game forces you to upgrade. So yeah, it's a battle between yes and no. But yeah, that was a lot of fun going back to this game. So I'm going to end off this video with a montage of me dying throughout the second half of this challenge. Thank you guys so much for watching and enjoy this montage.
Return to sender! Ouch! Tartar sauce! Too wet for me!